Hey, horror lovers! Picture the velvet black horizon, where the Gulf's humid breath rolls over Galveston's battered shoreline. That's the stage for tonight's creeping legend. School's out, buckets clatter, and four freshman friends stalk the sand under a bruised moon, their phone flashlights flickering like dying fireflies while they chase jittery ghost crabs. One kid pauses to wipe grit from his goggles, and in that heartstop of a glance the world fractures. A silhouette, 7 feet if an inch, unlatches from the ocean's silver skin and strides ashore. Limbs long as fishing poles, torso thin as a tide marker, its head a polished void where a face should live. The creature moves with impossible calm, then explodes into speed, streaking inland before dissolving into the night sky as though it had always been a shard of darkness. The shore hushes, waves race to erase its footprints, and for a breath nothing exists but the hammering of his pulse. Did you just blink, or did the void wink back? Terrified, he seals his lips. Nobody wants to be a buzzkill when summer's first freedom still tastes sweet. He cracks jokes about Krebzilla, while his brain replays that skeletal frame slicing through starlight. Every swish of tide becomes a whispered threat, every gust a wet, salty hand tugging his collar. The night smells of rotting seaweed and warm plastic from forgotten coolers, but beneath it lurks something colder, metallic, like water dripping off a submarine's hull. The group roams on, snapping selfies, while behind them the vacant dunes seem taller, watchful. Back at the rental, long after the others collapse among neon beach towels and empty Pringles tubes, he lies awake listening to floorboards creak as though stretched by invisible weight. Maybe the ocean didn't birth a monster at all. Maybe it birthed a walking hole in reality, a punctuation mark at the end of humanity's sentence. Sweet dreams, right? Dawn blazes sugar bright, and by lunch he's trading stories with his older brother in the sticky heat of a Whataburger lot. Between laughs about a haunted Walmart video, he begins, "You'll say I'm nuts, but last night I saw," when his brother's soda freezes mid-slurp. A tall black figure, no face, walked right out of the water. Shock ricochets between them, then multiplies as 3 of the brothers' friends lean in, describing the same apparition from a beach miles away at the same hour. Different shorelines, same cosmic glitch. They compare details, height, speed, that unsettling smoothness, the way it evaporated upward like smoke, for independent sets of eyes confirming a shared impossibility. Odds slimmer than netting lightning in a butterfly jar, yet here they stand, sweating under a postcard sun, suddenly very small beneath a sky that might be hiding more holes than stars. So what stalked Galveston that night? The island is haunted ground, soaked in hurricane ghosts and Confederate blood, but those specters moan, they don't sprint. Could covert Marines in experimental wetsuits prowl the surf? Maybe if the military just enlisted Slender Man. Perhaps aliens ditched cornfields for beachfront real estate. Or maybe 2 brothers simply shared a caffeine-fueled mirage. But then why do both still taste brine when they recall that darkness? And why does every future visit end with them sprinting off the sand before nightfall? Remember this when the horizon melts into pure obsidian. Some shadows fall across the world, and some shadows crawl out of it. Keep your lights bright and your minds open, because the water doesn't always give back what it takes. Until the next tide rolls in, sleep tight, if you dare. Imagine a house so ancient the floorboards wheeze like lungs, and the wallpaper peels away in curls, as if the walls are trying to whisper confessions. That's the Victorian heap our tale calls home, tucked behind the tourist bustle of Williamsburg, Virginia, summer of 2014. The new owner, my buddy's mom, complains of midnight giggles drifting down from the attic, of a beach ball she lobs up the hatch only to have it volleyed back, as if by a mischievous goalie no one can see. One room chills 20 degrees colder than the rest, its lone decor a coffin-sized mirror, reflecting nothing but gloom. Who needs Netflix when the building itself streams terror on demand, right? Naturally, 2 teenage geniuses, me and my friend, decide to ghost hunt armed with a clunky point-and-shoot camera, whose screen is barely bigger than a postage stamp. We start beneath the attic hatch, the air thick with dust that tastes like forgotten seasons. Beach ball up, thump, silence, then flump. It rockets back down straight toward us, defying the roof's downward slope. No laughter this time, only the squeak of rubber rolling against termite-gnawed planks. Our flashlights fritz, leaving us blinking in watery half-light, while the rafters groan like a ship's hull twisting at sea. Hold tight. Things are about to crawl from the dark. We climb anyway, because teenage brains run on equal parts bravado and possible concussion. The attic is a tangle of spiderweb cables and cedar-scented trunks. But the real bite comes from the cold room down the hall. A square void with no bulb, no furniture. Just that mirror, taller than any of us, framed in tarnished silver that drinks in every photon. Cross the threshold and sweat freezes to rhyme crystals. Our breaths puff dragon white. Anybody home? I joke, teeth chattering, yet my voice lands flat, devoured by velvet hush. The mirror offers only our outlines, wavering like moth-eaten film strips. We snap 20 photos, no flash, just hoping the sensor will catch what eyes can't. Each shutter click sounds like a mouse trap. We review on the spot. Black rectangles, maybe a blur here, a smudge there. Nothing worth the YouTube thumbnail. 40 minutes later, our nerves are frayed thinner than phone charger cords. So we bail, laughing too loud, pretending the silence behind us isn't licking its chops. Outside, June air slaps us hot and wet. We swear the house exhales frost behind our backs. Next morning, my friend flips on the camera while microwaving pizza rolls. Breakfast of champions. First image loads, and the screen bleeds a grayish sepia. The mirror room. In the foreground, our silhouettes. Behind them, a third shape. The height of a child, head cocked, mouth open in a grin wide enough to hinge the jaw. Except its eyes? Hollow, just coin-sized sockets darker than deep space. Arms hang limp, but one puckered hand presses against the glass, as if testing for weak spots. Freeze frame. Pizza rolls go cold. 5 minutes later, I'm at the house, scrolling in disbelief. The picture's still there, stubborn as a curse burned onto film stock. What crouched in that mirror? Colonial era, ghost trapped by shattered time? Residual haunt from yellow fever graves nearby? Or something born of our own reckless curiosity? Feeding on adolescent dares? All I know is the house still stands, and the mirror still rests in its private fridge of a room, waiting. If you ever tour Williamsburg and feel a sudden temperature dip, maybe you've stepped across its invisible threshold. Snap a selfie while you're at it. Just pray an extra face doesn't photobomb from the glass. Until the next chill creeps up your spine. Keep your lights bright and your beach balls downstairs, because some games come with permanent playmates. Two bros, John and Walter, sunburned on California's Stinson Beach, unearthing a waterlogged camcorder like it's pirate gold. March 26th, wave foam fizzing at their ankles, gulls shrieking overhead. Perfect Instagram vibes, right? Wrong. The camera dribbles icy seawater when Walter yanks it from the sand. Its battery gone, its cassette door jammed like a jaw clenched in rigor. They towel it off, stash it as a trophy, and drive inland, radio blasting. Yet under the pop lyrics lingers a smell of rot, salt, rust, something older. If they'd pitched it back into the surf, the next 6 nights might have been dreamless. But curiosity? Yeah, it's a rip current, and these dudes just waded in waist deep. Hold tight. What washes up next will soak every nerve in brine. Fast forward to March 31st. John's over for beers, spots the forgotten camcorder on Walter's desk, and dares him to roll the mystery tape. Cue the Sony, the firewire cable, and Roxio's clunky capture window. Only one 30-second scene appears, but it hits like a gut punch. A woman, barefoot, back to the lens, trudging down a deer trail flanked by straw-dry grass. Dawn, or maybe dusk, stains the sky orange. Breakers whisper far off. She's half-naked, hands hog-tied with bloody twine, shoulders cross-hatched by lash marks, swimsuit ripped to a drooping belt around her hips. No sobbing, no plea, just seagulls and crunching footsteps until a man's voice barks, "You better not be filming yet. Wait till we get inside." The clip cuts. Silence swallows the room. Walter jokes that they've found the worst vacation video ever. Nobody laughs. When he tries exporting the file, it corrupts into neon static, as if the footage itself refuses to leave the tape. John takes the cassette home, promising to brute force a clean rip on his MacBook. April 1st rolls by uneventfully, but by Sunday he's buzzing Walter at 7 p.m., claiming victory. Visuals solid, audio still dead. He wants one more night to fix the sound. 2 days later, calls go unanswered. Then, Wednesday quitting time, he finally rings. His voice is flat, drained of vowels and consonants alike. A man reading someone else's script. Forget the tape, he insists. They must return to Stinson tonight. Walter refuses, midweek, 2-hour drive, daylight fading, and John snaps, spitting curses before the line clicks dead. That icy smell, brine and low tide, seems to seep from the phone speaker. Walter's skin crawls. What did John hear in that silent clip? And why does the beach suddenly feel like it's calling collect? Sleep deserts Walter. Friday dawns with strange breadcrumbs, wet sand in the bathtub, a voicemail from John murmuring, "Meet me at Stinson. There's something you need to see." Then Sarah, Walter's girlfriend, vanishes after work, her last footsteps erased like surf on sand. By Saturday, the sheriff's office is filing a missing person report. By Sunday, Walter's dreams are tidal nightmares. He wakes soaked in sweat, swearing he smells kelp and diesel and the low metallic tang of old anchors. In the dream, Sarah lies beside him, twine gnawing her wrists, lips stretched into a grin too wide for bone. "There's something I need to show you," she whispers. Words that now echo from voicemail to dreamscape to the empty hallway outside his room. Monday brings TV static morphing into a frantic newscast. Hundreds of bodies have washed ashore, hands bound behind their backs. The anchor's eyes lock onto Walter as though the screen were a window, urge him seaside to witness the carnage. The set blinks off, the apartment temperature nosedives. That inevitable salt stink chokes the air. The sheriff calls next, voice syrup smooth yet insistent. "Meet at Stinson at dawn, no excuses. Something critical awaits." Even Sarah's father echoes the command, strangely detached, as if reading from cue cards. By Tuesday night, Walter hears soft taps at his second-story window, then Sarah's voice cooing, "Please let me in, Walter. I want to show you." The blind stays shut, but the house grows damp, chuckling with floorboard creaks timed to the pounding of his heart. And now it's Wednesday, April 14th. No sleep. Hands trembling. Thoughts frayed like kelp and surf. Walter types his confession online, hoping strangers will chalk it up to creepypasta while someone, anyone, connects the dots. Maybe the tape was never recording but a lure. Each view a hook through the eyeball. Maybe John pressed play one time too many and stepped through a frame that bites back. The sheriff's cruiser is due any minute to drag Walter to the shore where camcorders die and nightmares hatch in the shallows. If this upload is the last ripple he leaves, remember, when the ocean gifts you secrets, toss them back or they'll come looking, bearing twine, sand, and that terrible, toothy smile. Keep your cameras off and your windows locked, friends, because some beaches roll out a welcome mat you can never return from.